Alright, so here is the microcontroller that came in with our kit. This is the front of it, this is the back of it, and I'm using my desktop as my power source. So now plug it into the USB that came with the kit as well. This green and orange light come on. And so for the first part of this assignment, we had to create a code that allowed a blue LED light here to flash. I'm not gonna show it in this video just because there's two parts to this assignment, and I already have the code for the second part written up and ready to display. So just to avoid having to redo the entire assignment, I'm just gonna explain what I did for the first part, and then just show what I did for the second part to better visualize what I did for part one. But like I said, to begin, the code I write is the first code is two codes. The first code is to get this blue LED to flash 3 times and stop. And then the second code is to get it to flash continuously, like in a loop, and it doesn't stop. So once the microcontroller is programmed into PSOC, I had to go to this design tab, the top design, and over under ports and pins, I had to drag out a digital output pin. And I just dragged it out here and I labeled it just LED. Because like I said, this is for part 2. So I'm just explaining what I did for part 1. So I just labeled it LED. And then I had to come to this tab where I assigned it to a port. And the port I used was up here. It was P21. And I just selected that from the drop down menu they have. So once I assigned the LED to a port, and I came to the main tab where the code is, and the first code was for that LED light to flash 3 times. So it was kind of similar to this code that's written up, except it was in between this integer command and the for command. So when I put it here, it just looped the 3 times it was supposed to and it stopped. But then I put that same code within the for command and the light basically flashed continuously. So it was within a loop, so it just flashed blue nonstop. And well, it would flash for a second and then go off and then flash and then go off and then flash and then go off. So it was a continuous loop of on and off for the blue LED. And that was for part 1. So like I said, these 2 lights stayed on, and then this blue light in the middle, it would just flash. It would flash on, off, on, off, nonstop. And that's for part 1. So for part 2, I added 2 LED lights that were both separate from the microcontroller. So I just renamed the initial LED to blue LED, and then I added another digital output pin, named it white LED. So then I had to come back to this tab here and reassign both of those LED lights to different ports, which we put side by side down here. So once we did that, we came back to the main tab where the code is, and we wrote a code first that allowed it allowed the blue LED light to flash 3 times and then the white one to flash 1 time. And so then we changed it to where it was the same code initially, but just with a different command, just so it could stay within a continuous loop. And I'll show what that code does. Okay, so here I have the microcontroller plugged into the USB, and I have these probes that we used along with this whiteboard. And these are the 2 LED lights used and a resistor here. So I have, this is the ground wire because it's within the neutral column here. So this is the ground circuit, which will plug into the ground pin in here. This is for the power, and it's within this first row as well here, which is also plugged into the resistor, or the same row that the resistor is plugged into. And that will go into another pin right next to that. And then it's another power supply for this second LED light, which goes right next to that one as well. So I'll just show you what it does. So the code we have written up, it makes the blue LED light flash 5 times, and then the white one flash once, and then it starts back over, and then the blue goes 5 times, and then the white goes once, and then it starts back over. So it's a constant loop of 5 blues and 1 white. So once I'm gonna do this one first. You're gonna see the blue one come on when I plug this one in. So there's a blue one. And let me get this last one. Hard to do with one hand. Alright. So the blue one is flashing. And then 1 white. And 5 blues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1 white. Back to blue. And it just continuously flashes in this pattern. And that is the code we have here for the second part of this assignment.